I'm pleased to say we're joined by one of the debutants in the World Seniors Championship this week, Darren Johnson. Thanks for joining us again, Darren. How you doing?
I'm doing great, mate. How the devil are you doing?
Doing good, thank you. And let's just start with the World Seniors. We're talking on this Monday evening, just 3 days before you step onto the Circus Tavern stage. How are you feeling now, only a few days away from it?
I'm feeling absolutely great. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a cracking tournament.
Well, we'll come back to this week later, but let's first rewind back. And we said just off air a moment ago that we last had you on the show back on our 11th episode. It was March 2017. You just made your first final in the PDC. You'd had a win over Michael Van Goghen as well. Things were going well for DJ, weren't they?
They were, yeah, they were at that time, but, you know, it's a long time ago, and there's a lot's happened. There's a lot of water under the bridge, and we're here now, and we are where we are.
Well, just going back to that time, it was a few months later, you pushed Peter Wright all the way to a decider, right? That was on the Euro Tour. You made a quarter-final. You made the Players' Championship finals that year as well, 2017, but you missed out on the World Championship. How disappointed were you to miss out, given the start of the year that you'd had?
I was really disappointed. What happened that year, I tore a rotator cuff in my arm. So the back end of the year, I was playing injured. I would, muscle rub and tiger balm and painkillers, and nothing worked. And my game, I really struggled for, and it took about 18 months to 2 years to heal. It was a really terrible injury at a terrible time.
Yeah, I remember listening to an interview that you did recently with our friends at Inside the WDF. You mentioned that arm injury, which really did set you back. Do you know how it happened at all?
I started a property business, and I think I was swinging a sledgehammer, which I shouldn't have been doing because, I had people who should have been swinging sledgehammers for me, but you get stuck in and you think you can do everything, and obviously the older you get, you're not 21 anymore, and it was just one of them things, just an injury in a bad place that just took a long time to heal.
And how is the injury now? You said it set you back for 18 months. Is things, are they all good now?
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely perfect now, and I'm probably healthier than I've been for a long time. I do 100 lengths swimming at the backs every day, and I'm from my age now. I'm 58 this year, but I'm fitter than I've been for 20 years probably.
Glad to hear it. Well, after you lost your tour card at the end of 2018, you went back to Q School, and for the next 2 years you came within only a few wins of getting your tour card back. And as someone who's had success at Q School in the past, how tough is it? Does it get more difficult each year?
Yeah, the younger players coming in are absolutely, they're mustard. And, for an older player that going up against these young guns coming in who are absolutely fired up every single game, it's tough. And I'm not as good as I was when I was, 15, 20 years younger. And it's a young man's game now.
Well, back then when you were first starting out, you probably weren't expecting to be playing darts with a webcam showing your dartboard at home. But in 2020, we had the lockdowns and you were quite active with the online darts. Was it something that you took to straight away, or did it take some getting used to?
No, I took to it straight away. I always used to practice at home, and then I actually enjoyed playing in lockdown. In fact, I played 34 nights in a row. I played in lockdown in online darts, and I was having a glass of wine and a few beers, and I probably played too much because I think at the end of lockdown I was borderline alcoholic.
During the lockdowns as well, and this is probably where it's come from, we saw the birth of DJ's Bar. Talk us through that, and how much time do you spend in there practicing these days?
Yeah, 1 hour, an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, but every day. But to be fair, I think it's too much, and I've cut it down a little bit now. I'm not I'm doing every other day now, because every single day it's too much and it gets boring, and you just get bored with it. So my attention span's not the best these days. So, I don't practice as much now as I have been doing. In fact, I think I've over-practiced this last year, so I'm cutting it down a bit now.
Well, when events did start to come back, we saw you start to play on the WDF circuit, travelling to events all around Europe, along with Martin Turner. He called it the last of the summer wine tour. How did that tour come about?
I don't know. I think we were down at probably Q School, I think, if I can remember. It might have been at Q School, or it might have been First Challenge Tour, and there must be more to life than this. Let's get about a bit. And I think it was like an England Open at Chelsea or something like that. And I said, "You fancy doing this?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not? So let's enter it." And to be fair, we went with an open mind, but absolutely really enjoyed it. A great bunch of people, and that goes for the officials and the players. And we really enjoyed it, and we did one, did another, and it just carried on from there.
Good times. Well, yeah, a lot of years you spent playing within the PDC, set up the Pro Tours, then the Challenge Tours, the majority of them being in England. So how did you find that travelling side of the WDF circuit, going to places like Denmark, Sweden, Malta, Switzerland?
Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Different places, different people, but all good people, all darts people, really friendly. Absolutely great. Absolutely enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, 2021, we also saw the birth of the World Seniors Tour, and last year in October you picked up your first title on there. So what's it been like playing in those weekend events and probably seeing some familiar faces that you might not have seen for a little while?
The first weekend were absolutely fantastic. You seeing players you've not seen, Jason Clark, Colin Monk, players like that you've not seen for ages. And I've enjoyed the seniors that much. I'll prioritise that over the next 12 months. I'm enjoying the tour. Prize money's not great, but the tour is still in its infancy, and I'm going to give it time and see how it evolves. But where the seniors have done the business is the TV events. I think there's 4 TV events they've got now, but it's just all I hope to do. Give the players that play the tour, give them more places, cut back on the invites, make it 50-50 invites, give the players that are going up and down the country playing in these tour events, if they give them, a good shot, I think the seniors will absolutely go from strength to strength and be superb.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. And this week we've got 8 spots within the 32 field of players that are going to come from those qualifiers, those events. And of course you won one of those titles. You also won a WDF ranking title as well, the Northern Ireland Open last year. What did both of those wins mean to you?
I think the Northern Ireland Open, that's probably my biggest win in my career, to be honest. I played well all day in that. I had a great final. I just picked Nick Kenny in the deciding leg, a brilliant young Welsh player he's got a great future ahead of him, and I absolutely love winning that. Superb.
Well, let's get on to this year, 2023, and you're going to be playing in not one but 2 World Championships. You've also qualified for the WDF World Championship in December. So how much are you looking forward to playing at the Lakeside at the end of the year?
I am looking forward to it, but I'm a bit arsed off with them, to be honest. When we played all last year for that, and then all of a sudden it just gets moved to December. I sort of get why they did it, but the way it came out was sort of a bombshell, just an announcement out of the blue. You feel like the WDF, it's a bit of a secret society. One trouser leg rolled up, funny handshakes. I don't even know who's in charge of the WDF. You tell me who's in charge of it.
Well, I think we had Richard Ashdown was doing quite a lot to begin with, and I think he's resigned over the Christmas period. Yeah. Nick Rolls is one of the main people, I think, at the moment. But as you say, I think the last announcement we had from the WDF regarding Lakeside, it was that it was going to be after the first quarter of this year. So I'm guessing you were quite surprised that they've pushed it all the way back to December at the end of the year.
Yeah, I am. It was, like I said, it came as a bit of a bombshell, and I was really pissed off at the time. But the more I think about it, right, yeah, I look forward to December now, and it's a good time to have it. But the way it was announced was absolutely shocking, to be honest. But it is what it is, and we'll deal with it and we'll move on. And I'm looking forward to December.
Definitely. Well, you are ticking off these historic venues in darts. Eventually, we've got Lakeside in December, but before then, it is the Circus Tavern in February. The draw was made a week or so ago now, and we saw that you stuck around to watch it after the qualifiers had finished. Larry Butler in the first round. What was your reaction to the draw?
Larry Butler's a bit of a legend in darts, and he's probably the greatest American player ever. In fact, North America, there's two players spring to mind, John Part and Larry Butler. But from the USA, Larry Butler is arguably the greatest American player ever. So, and I know he beat my mate Dennis Priestley in the match play final years ago, a long time ago, probably round about just after the Second World War, to be honest.
You mentioned your friend Dennis Priestley. I was going to mention him as well. When we last spoke, you said how you travelled with him for a number of years. Have you two spoke recently ahead of this week? Has he give you any advice?
Yeah, he sent me a message yesterday, just wishing me good luck and just telling me to enjoy it. And for me, it's a shame that he's not in it, because Dennis, he's not thrown the dart in 2 years, but he could pick them up, and in 3 days, he'd be a contender. I miss touring with him, to be honest. I miss making his coffee. I miss getting sent to the shop to get him a sandwich and stuff like that. But, that were all career building for me,
For players not on the PDC tour, there's a lot more opportunities these days. The seniors, WDF, Modus League, ADC and so on. You said before you'd always been a hobby darts player. Work came first, then you started to work part-time, made the darts more of a priority. So what's the work darts balance like right now?
Well, I'm fully retired now. I decided after lockdown that was it. I'd made some shrewd investments that mean I don't really have to go to work. So it's just chill out, enjoy life, play darts. If there's a tournament I want to go to it, I'm going to go to it. If there's a tournament that I don't fancy, I'm not going to go to it. I'm going to enjoy it and take everything as it comes.
Fair play. Well, two more questions before we let you go. I'm sure you're not looking past your first round opponent, but you'd be forgiven for looking at the draw, seeing a potential second round meeting with Phil Taylor if you two both win your first round game. So how special would that be to play Phil on the Circus Tavern stage, we're assuming, on that Saturday night?
That would be absolutely awesome, but I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. I think Colin McGarry beats him. Well,
it'd be you against Colin McGarry on Saturday night instead.
Yeah, he's a great mate of mine. I honestly think he will beat Phil Taylor.
There we have it. Well, beyond this week, what is the plan for the rest of 2023? What events have you got your eye on over the next 6 months or so, and then I guess in the lead up to Lakeside?
I think I'm going to do all the England stuff. I like the England guys. I like Tommy Thompson, Tommy T-Rex, as they call him. I'm going to do all the England darts. I'm going to do things like the Denmark Open, Swedish Open. I'm going to go to a few countries that I've never been to before, and we'll see how it pans out.
Well, Darren, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show. Congratulations on the success that you had last year, and we wish you all the best for this debut in the World Seniors Championship this week and what else is to come in 2023 as well.
Lovely. Thank you very much.